Even though he was shocked, Su Gang quickly sobered up. He observed Luo Feng in the distance and his merchant's mind quickly made a series of decisions. This Luo Feng is so young and he's already a beginner-level warlord. And he doesn't have a good background, so it's quite rare for him to reach this step. I'll just watch. If he becomes a war god-level existence one day, my dad and the others would probably want my sister to marry him. However, a fighter is still a fighter. Even Lu Gang will die, so who knows when he'll die. Whatever, I won't think too much about it. Let's see how this Luo Feng develops in the future, Su Gang thought to himself. After all, a junior warlord was really nothing to a large family like the Su family. The memorial was still ongoing, but some fighters were already starting to leave. After the 5 members of the Firehammer squad left, they went to find a classical-looking restaurant with decent decorations. The restaurant owner knew that quite a few people came to the memorial today. Since the memorial was broadcasted to the entire country, the restaurant owner knew who these 5 people were after seeing the direction Luo Feng and the others came from and the dojo of Limit's car. He immediately invited them to the best room on the 3rd floor. Alright, go down. Chingu quickly ordered some dishes and waved his hand for the waiter to leave. The prettiest waitress in the restaurant looked at them curiously and obediently left the room. Fuck, I was in a good mood today, but after seeing those bastards from the Tiger Fong squad, I'm filled with anger. My good mood is gone. Gao Feng couldn't help but to say as he clenched his teeth. Before they left, Luo Feng and the others met the members of the Tiger Fong squad who also came to mourn. Captain, there's no need to get so angry with those bastards, it's not worth it. Wei Tai shook his head. When we enter the wilderness, we'll just find a chance to kill them, sneered Wei Qin. Luo Feng frowned and scanned the entire room with his spiritual force to see if there were any listening devices. Seeing Luo Feng like this, Gao Feng laughed. Luo Feng, don't worry. This restaurant could be considered high class, and the top private rooms of such a high-class restaurant were usually reserved for people of status to eat and talk, and they would often talk about secrets. If this owner dares to eavesdrop, he's looking to die. Chingu also opened his mouth. So what if there's a listening device? We just said we were going to kill them, but we didn't kill them. Can't I just say it? Luo Feng smiled. That's right. Captain, are there any troublesome people behind this Firehammer squad? Asked Luo Feng. If there are, then we'll have to be careful. What kind of big shot could there be? Gao Feng sneered. Could it be that their parents are war gods? Speaking of which, war god Lu Gang has a total of 3 children, 2 sons and 1 daughter. His eldest son and daughter were both warrior-level experts. Only his second son's strength is very ordinary. Wei Tai sighed. This expert is really different, even his children are so powerful. Oh, 3 children and 2 of them are warlord level? Luo Feng was shocked. It's normal. Gao Feng said, Luo Feng, you haven't been in the fighter circle for long, so you might not know. In fact, a powerful martial artist's children were usually more powerful. For example, our world's strongest fighter Hong, he himself is an existence surpassing the war god level. His son and daughter are both war god rank. Luo Feng blinked twice. He really didn't notice such news. Actually, the logic is simple. Gao Feng smiled as he continued. When a fighter trains, every cell in his body absorbs genetic energy and perfects the body's genes, causing the body's genes to continuously improve. Actually, the process of training is also the process of improving one's genes. The more powerful one is, the higher their genes will be. And when you get married and have children, you pass on your genes to your descendants. 4 powerful fighters like Hong, Thunder God, and Zhu Shi that we saw before, it's not strange for their children to reach the war god level, because their genes are naturally good. However, this isn't 100% true. If the descendants aren't as strong as their ancestors, then each generation will be weaker than the previous one. After a few generations, the family's genes will become ordinary. Luo Feng nodded. Indeed, getting married and having children is a genetic process. The children of powerful fighters are born with an advantage. The door to the room opened and the waiter came in to deliver the food. Okay. After the waiter left, Gao Feng sighed. Actually, if humanity continues to develop like this, the genes of the powerful fighters will gradually spread, causing the genes of the entire human race on Earth to gradually improve. However, when the weak marry the strong, some children with average genes will also appear. So, it's very hard to improve the genes of the entire human race. The strong are improving the genes of the entire human race, while the weak are lowering the genes of the entire human race. However, one thing is for sure. As time goes on, the overall fitness level of the human race on Earth will gradually improve. One day, almost all humans will be able to become martial artists. Gao Feng's conclusion made Luo Feng slightly nod. Of course, everyone can become a fighter. Who knows how long that will take? 500 years? 1,000 years? 5,000 years? Gao Feng shook his head as he laughed. Indeed, the evolution of the entire human race is a very long process. Luo Feng and the others quickly finished their lunch. After taking away the food, they ordered some tea. Old Chin and Wei Tai and the other brothers have pretty much familiarized themselves with their bodies. I think we'll enter the wilderness in 2 days. Gao Feng looked towards them. Does anyone have any objections? How about the day after tomorrow? Said Chingu. Luo Feng nodded. We'll leave the day after tomorrow. However, Captain, where are we going this time? Chingu laughed. Of course we won't be going to those small cities this time. Our team is much stronger than before. The fact that the entire team is 10 times stronger than before is definitely not a lie. Let's go to the main city area. Wei Tai and Wei Qing's eyes flashed. In the past they only went to the prefecture-level cities for a bit. How about, we'll be arrogant for a bit and go to number 003 city? Gao Feng took in a deep breath and said quietly. Number 003 city? Luo Feng and the others who were seated were all shocked. Number 003 city, what does it represent? It can be said to be one of the most terrifying regions in the entire Eurasian region. This place is near the ocean, so there are large amounts of sea monsters in the rivers. This place has the most buildings in all of Asia, which also causes the number of monsters here to reach an astonishing number. There are many Horde leader level monsters here, and there are even monsters that surpass the Horde leader level here. Large amounts of top-notch fighters came here. Even warriors from the other base cities of Huaxia had rushed over. This place was practically a base camp for human warriors and monsters to kill each other. This place is the economic center of China before the Grand Nirvana period. The original Shanghai city. We're going there? Wei Tai and Wei Qing were both shocked. That's too much, that's too big of a step. Wei Tai couldn't help but to say, how about we go to number 023 city first? What about the original Suzhou? No matter how brave they are, they would still tremble when they hear the name number 003 city. That place is truly a place where dragons and snakes mingle and crooks mingle. Gao Feng looked at them and laughed. Are you afraid? What's there to be scared of? If we dare to go to number 003 city, we'll be proud. Chengu's eyes flashed. We'll go, of course we'll go. The entire number 003 city is huge, at least 10 times bigger than other cities. We'll just slowly infiltrate from the edge, so what's there to be afraid of? LuoFeng, what do you think? The group looked towards LuoFeng. Since LuoFeng is the number one fighter of the squad, LuoFeng thought. Of course LuoFeng knows about this legendary number 003 city. Whether it's the meaning of number 003 city to humans or the position of the original Shanghai city before the Grand Nirvana period, it's all special. Alright, we can enter, but we'll have to take it slow from the outskirts. LuoFeng nodded. Of course I'll slowly advance from the suburbs. Do you think I'm tired of living? I don't want to die yet. Gao Feng smiled. Some of my old friends from back then, many of them are hanging around in number 003 city. That's the place where the top martial artists appear. TSK, we're going there too. It was a symbol of strength to be able to survive in 003 city. Because there are a lot of big shots there, even in the outskirts, large amounts of commander-level monsters often appear. And in the hinterlands there were many lord-tier monsters. Therefore, those without strength would not even dare to enter the suburbs of 003 city. Alright, then everyone get ready to rest. We will depart the day after tomorrow morning and head to 003 city. Gao Feng smiled. Alright, let's go to 003 city. Luo Feng and his group felt their blood boiling. On the third day, Luo Feng and Qinggu left the Mingyue sector. They met up with Gao Feng, Wei Tai, and Wei Qing in the HR Alliance market and headed towards the resupplying base of the Southeastern Military Sector. The Southeastern Military Sector is even bigger than Jiang-Nan headquarter city's Northern Military Sector. This resupplying base is also much bigger than the Northern Military Sector's resupplying base. After receiving the keys, Luo Feng and the others couldn't help but to sigh as they walked around the resupplying base. The amount of houses in this resupplying base far exceeds the Northern Military Sectors. And with just a glance you can see large amounts of fighters everywhere. In terms of strength, the fighters here also far surpass the Northern Military Sector. Of course they're much stronger. Gao Feng sighed. Number 003 city is near the ocean. Countless monsters in the ocean split apart the continent and followed the Huangpu River to threaten the land. The military sector here is here to deal with these sea monsters. And the fighters here are mainly here to deal with the monsters in number 003 city. Compared to the monsters on land, the sea monsters are much more terrifying. Because the area of the ocean is much larger than the land, and the ocean is the territory of the monsters. You can imagine how many monsters there are in the ocean. Look, that's the poison demon spear, right? Hee, holy shit, isn't that a war god? It's rare to see a war god in the Northern Military Sector, but here we see one. That's not weird. Number 003 city is one of the top monster camps in Eurasia. Not only are Jiang-Nan headquarter city, but there are also fighters from other headquarter cities here. So it's not weird at all. The Firehammer squad looked down from their balconies and were all shocked. The martial artists here came from all over the world. Let's eat. After lunch, we'll head towards number 003 city, said Gao Feng. After a while, the fully armed Firehammer squad left the resupplying base. It's the Firehammer squad, they're here too? I heard that the new Madman in the Firehammer squad is pretty strong. He's a beginner-level warlord, so he'll definitely improve quickly. A few people in the resupplying base laughed as they discussed. Madman? Wan Dong, who was chatting with a friend under a tree, couldn't help but to turn his head and look. At this time, the 5 members of the Firehammer squad were heading towards the main gate of the base. Dong, this Luo Feng is from the same batch as you, right? Said the burly man on the side. Yes. Wan Dong nodded. He became a martial artist in the same batch as me. I even met him during the level 3 rat tide outbreak. I didn't expect him to come to the southeast military region. During the last rat tide, Wan Dong's original team leader died. Therefore, Wan Dong and the others joined other warrior teams and came here. Dong, do your best. Don't lose to this Luo Feng. The bulky brute hammered Wan Dong's chest. Wan Dong watched as LuoFeng's silhouette disappeared through the gate and felt complicated. Back then, when they had participated in the fighter combat examination together, they had also been recruited in advance by the dojo. Who would have thought that in the blink of an eye, he would still be a newbie who needed to work hard, while Luo Feng had already made a name for himself in the circle of fighters. Now, when the name Jiang-Nan City's Madman is mentioned, most people know about it. After all, it was very difficult to make a name for oneself. Or he could rely on a heaven-shaking battle. Or he could rely on some strange battle achievements. Luo Feng killed over 10,000 monsters in 2 months. Or through the accumulation of fame over the years. For example, Xingu and Zhangku had accumulated their fame for more than 10 years before they had a name. And now, Luo Feng can be considered a famous figure. Back then he was like me. Now he's a famous figure in the circle of fighters. I can't lose to him. Wan Dong clenched his fist. With Luo Feng in front of him, Wan Dong didn't dare to relax at all. Luo Feng and the others walked along the highway for around 2 days before finally entering number 003 city. The sky was gloomy as the Firehammer squad carefully moved forward. Enter the house, commanded Gao Feng. Whoosh. Luo Feng and the others swiftly rushed into a shop on the side. Screech. Ga. Only after hundreds of birds swiftly flew across the sky did the members of the Firehammer squad carefully come out. This is where the monsters gather. It's the biggest camp in the entire Eurasian continent. Not only are there land monsters but there are also all sorts of bird-type monsters, said Gao Feng seriously, and because it's near the sea, some amphibious monsters will appear. Gao Feng said solemnly in a low voice, and because it's near the sea, some amphibious monsters will also appear. So everyone must be careful, careful, careful. Understood, Captain Luo Feng and the others nodded. Everyone knew how dangerous this place was. Just from the attack of the bird-type monsters just now, only Luo Feng's explosiveness and the terrain could save their lives. Our target is a small sector called Wanku Dream City, 2 miles away, said Gao Feng quietly. This Wanku Dream City takes up a huge amount of land. It used to be able to hold close to 1 million people. Now there are quite a lot of monsters there. And because it's near the outskirts of number 003 city, horde leader level monsters are hard to come by. Gao Feng said quietly, this Wanku Dream City takes up a huge amount of land. Okay, nodded the others. Everyone be careful. No matter if it's in the sky, on the ground, or even underground, monsters can appear. Gao Feng waved his hand. Let's go. Luo Feng's ghost blade was already unsheathed, and Qingu's RG-112 heavy machine gun was ready to fire at any time. The 5 members of the Firehammer squad carefully moved forward, not daring to be arrogant at all. Their attitude was completely different from when they were in the small city. Howl, howl, die. The sky-shaking roars carried over from a few dozen miles away. There were even angry roars from humans. F***ck, what kind of monster is that? Qingu couldn't help but to turn his head towards the direction of the roars. That's the direction of the city center. It's a place where all sorts of crooks and crocodiles appear. Horde leader level monsters and war god level fighters are all there, said Gao Feng quietly. Without the power of a war god, going there is no different from suicide. In the city center of number 003 city, not only are there fighters from China, but fighters from other countries like Russia and India will also come. Luo Feng and the others nodded. A short distance of 2 miles can be covered in less than a minute if they run at full speed. However, the Firehammer squad spent a whole half an hour before they arrived at the abandoned Wanku Dream City sector. In this half an hour, Luo Feng and the others killed 2 snake-type monsters, around 30 regular soldier-level monsters, and 1 low-level commander-level monster. I heard that this place was dangerous, but I didn't think it would be this dangerous. We were so careful, but we were still forced to fight a low-level commander-level monster. Qingu's eyes flashed. No wonder it's number 003 city. Let's go, hurry up and go upstairs. Gao Feng waved his hand. Luo Feng and the others carefully and swiftly entered a residential building. This residential building had a total of 18 floors. Luo Feng and the others killed their way from the 1st floor to the 12th floor and encountered around 10 monsters along the way. On the 12th floor, in a room that was around 100 square meters in size. While we're in number 003 city, this house will be our temporary resting place, said Gao Feng. Luo Feng nodded. Unlike some cities, number 003 city has large amounts of flying monsters, so you can't rest on the rooftop. Resting on the rooftop is the same as looking for death. Look over there. Gao Feng stood on the balcony that was covered in dust and pointed towards the south. Look, there's an area that's completely covered in mist. Luo Feng and the others walked over. Indeed, around 10 miles away, buildings were faintly discernible under the mist. You couldn't see anything further than that, you could only see old and broken road signs. That area was indeed strangely covered in mist. Actually, the entire number 003 city was just a patch of gray. The roars of various monsters and the cries of birds could be heard everywhere. The rumbling horde of tens of thousands of monsters was uncountable. The core area of that area used to be a Carrefour supermarket, and there was a high-level horde leader monster occupying that area. Gao Feng said solemnly, remember, no matter what, we must not go near that area. Apparently, that high-level horde leader monster has 2 low-level horde leader monsters under its command, along with large amounts of commander-level monsters and countless soldier-level monsters. It's a tyrant in the surrounding 20 to 30 miles. Luo Feng took in a deep breath. 1 high-level horde leader and 2 low-level horde leaders? What kind of clan is this? Of course, they're only tyrants in the rural areas. In the urban areas, there are plenty of horde leader level monsters. Gao Feng waved his hand. Alright, everyone rest for the night. Tomorrow we'll begin our journey in number 003 city. Yes, Captain. Luo Feng and the others looked at each other and let out a smile. Yo. In the sky above the sector, hundreds of flying monsters whizzed past. Some of them even flew past the buildings in the sector. The closest monster was only 20 to 30 meters away from Luo Feng and the others. Everyone go rest in the bedrooms. The windows in the bedrooms aren't big, so flying monsters can't fly in. Today, Qinggu and Wei Tai, you two take turns keeping watch. In number 003 city, even if Luo Feng and the others sleep, they have to have someone keep watch. No one dared to relax because this is a paradise for monsters, a den of monsters for humans and a battlefield for fighters. After a night in the morning, Luo Feng stood on the balcony of his room on the 12th floor. The cold air of the winter morning permeated the air. As it touched his face, Luo Feng's entire body froze. It's around -5 degrees Celsius, laughed Gao Feng as he walked over. It's pretty cold. Luo Feng looked down from the balcony and pointed at the monsters that were searching for prey, but there are so many monsters in this sector early in the morning. Look, there are a total of 12 monsters in my field of vision, and 3 of them are commander level. Hee, no wonder number 003 city is the main camp of monsters. Gao Feng also laughed. Indeed, in a normal county, a commander level monster would usually lead hundreds of normal monsters. It would be very impressive with a huge entourage around it. And in the county where Luo Feng trained his blade technique, a commander level monster was leading hundreds, even thousands of normal soldier level monsters. In a county, the less commander level monsters there are, the more normal monsters the commander level monsters will be leading. And in number 003 city, even in the outskirts, a commander level monster usually leads 2 or 3 soldiers. Some of them were even a lone commander without an army. These are all the weaker commander level monsters, they don't have any subordinates. And the powerful high level commander level monsters, even horde leader level monsters. They all lead tens of thousands of subordinates. Gao Feng turned around and looked at the others. Everyone wake up. Let's go down and hunt some monsters. Let's go brothers, let's go earn some money, laughed Qinggu. This number 003 city is awesome. Commander level monsters are everywhere. Wei Qing and Wei Tai's eyes were also flashing. Number 003 city is dangerous. However, danger and opportunity exist together. Even though there are too many powerful monsters here, if you aren't strong enough, you'll die easily. Even if you're strong enough, you'll die if you're surrounded by a monster horde. However, the commander level monsters here usually don't have any subordinates, which makes hunting commander level monsters much easier. Luo Feng stood at the staircase and scanned the corner with his spiritual force. He waved his hand. No problem, there aren't any monsters within 20 meters. Usually, it was very easy for monsters to ambush them at the corners. And Luo Feng's spiritual force is the best detector. Following a spirit reader master is good for you. Qinggu laughed. Everyone pay attention, don't make any noise, the monster's ears are very sensitive. Gao Feng glared at Qinggu, and Qinggu immediately shut his mouth. Luo Feng took the lead with Gao Feng at the back. Wei Tai and Wei Qing were on both sides while Qinggu was in the middle. Luo Feng's gaze landed on the 3 horned boar monsters that were around 100 meters away. The leading horned boar had an enormous body and its horn was completely black. Unlike the gray fur of a normal monster, the needle-like fur on its body was completely black. All of this showed its identity, low-level commander level. This is it. Luo Feng said quietly, that horned boar in front, everyone pay attention to the surroundings, I'll take care of it. Luo Feng took the lead and rushed over. The 4 people behind him naturally spread out according to their formation, paying attention to whether there are other commander-level monsters or human fighters that come to cause trouble. Howl. When the commander-level horned boar saw Luo Feng, a human, rush over, it immediately roared angrily. Its speed instantly soared to 100 meters per second, which is around 360 kilometers per hour, and its horn headed straight towards Luo Feng. With this kind of force, even a truck would be smashed into pieces by its size. Luo Feng held his ghost blade and maintained his normal speed of 60 to 70 meters per second. The two crossed each other. In an instant, Luo Feng's speed soared and his feet moved. His precise dodging made it so that the horned boar couldn't even touch Luo Feng. The ghost blade in Luo Feng's hand directly slashed upwards. During the slash, the ghost blade sped up twice, causing the blade to instantly become blurry. It turned into a blurry blade light. The cold blade light was like lightning. A cold light instantly slashed across the horned boar's neck. After that, the blade light became dreamy like mist and instantly dissipated. Blade technique. Thunderbolt. First success. Puchi. Luo Feng's ghost blade seemed like 2 simple slashes, but it instantly cut the throats of the other 2 soldier-level horned boars. Rumble, the commander-level horned wild boar, whose life force had already dissipated, continued to fly for a dozen or so meters before falling to the ground with a rumble. It slid along the ground for a few meters before crashing into a thick tree that had been growing for tens of years, causing the entire tree to shake for a bit before finally stopping. Hee, good kid, killing a beginner-level warlord-level monster with just his blade technique. Qinggu and the others already surrounded him. Quite a bit of improvement. Gao Feng was also very happy. At this time, Gao Feng had already started dissecting the monster's corpse. Technique, blade technique and rich experience combined together. Killing a beginner-level warlord-level monster was actually this easy. Luo Feng sighed in his heart. Luo Feng sighed in his heart. Since he killed over 10,000 monsters, Luo Feng was able to maintain absolute calmness in front of these monsters. His blade technique and agility technique were all perfectly utilized, using the least amount of strength to instantly kill the opponent. Alright, harvest complete. Gao Feng let out a smile. Looks like we can kill quite a few commander-level monsters in one day. Let's go. The next one. Luo Feng also smiled. The entire Firehammer squad was in high spirits. In number 003 city, even though Luo Feng predicted that killing monsters would be very efficient, when he actually fought, he realized, holy shit, how is this killing monsters? It's basically a money printing machine. Even a money printing machine wouldn't be as fast as Luo Feng and the others. The important materials of a low-level commander-level monster can usually be sold for 5 million to 15 million. The important materials of a medium-level commander-level monster can usually be sold for 10 million to 100 million. The important materials of a high-level commander-level monster can usually be sold for around 50 million to 600 million. Of course, there are some exceptions. For example, some extremely special monsters or some high-level commander-level monsters that are close to being horde leader-level monsters. Naturally, the price will rise. However, most of them are in the same price range. The Firehammer squad kills around 10 commander-level monsters every day. Of course, almost all of them are low-level commanders. Their efficiency at making money is simply terrifying. After fighting for 10 days, Luo Feng and the others killed 92 low-level commander-level monsters and 3 medium-level commanders. The total price was estimated to be around 1 billion. After 10 consecutive days of high-intensity battles, Luo Feng and the others were quite tired, hence they had a good day of rest. After that, he continued to kill monsters. Only, the number of commander-level monsters in the area had clearly decreased. The 15th day. On the balcony of the 12th floor of the 18-story building, Luo Feng and his group were resting. Captain, there aren't many low-level commander monsters around here anymore. Chingu said helplessly. There's nothing we can do about it. We've been killing quite ruthlessly recently. Gao Feng chuckled. But there's no need to rush. Monsters move around in large numbers. According to my estimation, within 10 days, the number of monsters in this district will increase again. What we need to do is to stand guard here quietly. After all, we are the most familiar with this environment. Luo Feng nodded. In these 10 days, even though this small sector was huge, Luo Feng and the others still remembered it clearly. Number 003 city is still the best place to make money. Wei Tai couldn't help sighing. Even though this was mainly due to Luo Feng and Gao Feng's hard work, Wei Tai, Wei Qing and Qinggu also get some of the leftovers. If they split it up, each of them would earn over 100 million. In the past, Wei Tai and Wei Qing wouldn't even earn 100 million in a year when they searched for commander-level monsters in small cities and cities. But now they've surpassed it in 15 days. Of course, the greater the profit, the greater the danger. In these 10 days, Luo Feng and the others also encountered the danger of a bird attack. Luckily, they hid in the house and relied on Luo Feng's throwing knives to scare the bird monsters away. Earn a lot? Not much, laughed Gao Feng. It's normal for a spirit reader to earn a few billion in a year. The reason we're able to survive here is mainly because of Luo Feng. Ha Qinggu, Wei Qing and Wei Tai couldn't help but to laugh. Captain, don't say that. It's because of your help that hunting monsters is so much easier. Luo Feng was speaking the truth. One person can't pay attention to all the dangers around them at the same time. The other 3 members of the squad are responsible for keeping watch and clearing out any dangers. Only with the help of an intermediate-level warlord, like Gao Feng, will Luo Feng be more efficient. Luo Feng and the others were chatting and laughing casually, but their voices weren't loud. Qinggu, who was holding a heavy sniper rifle on the side, looked down through the scope and suddenly said quietly, F***CK, a big guy is coming. What? Luo Feng and the others practically grabbed the binoculars beside them at the same time. Luo Feng looked carefully. In a residential building far away, the corners of the walls were covered in moss and vines. And at this time, there was a gigantic python that was as thick as a person's waist and around 20 meters long on top of the moss and vines. This python's entire body was covered in parallel black lines, and the closer the black lines were to its head, the thicker the black lines were. At the very front of the gigantic python, there were 2 triangular snake heads. The foreheads of these 2 snake heads were slightly bulging. Is it the poisonous black-striped snake-type monster? Cursed Gao Feng, and it's the mutated twin-headed black-striped snake? And it's about to grow horns and become a dragon. Luo Feng also took in a deep breath. A mutated twin-headed black-striped snake that's about to become a dragon? This thing isn't easy to mess with. A black-striped snake that's about to become a dragon? It's definitely a high-level commander-level monster that's nearing the horde leader level. Gao Feng's expression was serious as he said in a low voice, and as a mutated twin-headed black-striped snake, its poison is a bit stronger than a normal black-striped snake, and it has 2 poison sacs. Each poison sac is worth twice the price of a normal black-striped snake. In other words, this twin-headed black-striped snake is worth the price of 4 black-striped snakes of the same level. A black-striped snake that's about to become a dragon is worth around 400 million. This twin-headed black-striped snake can be sold for 1.6 billion. That's comparable to a normal low-level horde leader level monster. When Gao Feng said this number, everyone else's heart rate sped up. After fighting for around 10 days and killing over 100 commander-level monsters, None of them are worth as much as this twin-headed black-striped snake. As you can imagine, killing powerful monsters is more efficient in earning money. Of course, this twin-headed black-striped snake is extremely dangerous. As long as you get bitten by its poison, or if you're poisoned, you'll die for sure, said LuoFeng in a low voice, and it has 2 heads so it can attack its enemies at the same time. Are we going to do this? LuoFeng looked at the other people in the squad, and then his gaze landed on LuoFeng. The others were silent and also looked at LuoFeng. LuoFeng has to make the decision. The twin-headed black-striped snake is expensive, but it's also extremely dangerous. I'll do it. LuoFeng clenched his teeth. Captain, what about you? With the help of his spiritual force, his dodging abilities can be described as unpredictable. LuoFeng, if we encounter any trouble, help me. LuoFeng clenched his teeth. Fighters are always on the line between life and death. Wei Tai, give me your shield. Captain, here. Wei Tai didn't hesitate at all and gave his shield to LuoFeng. And LuoFeng put his heavy hammer on the ground. He held the shield in his left hand and the heavy hammer in his right. He mocked himself. After all this time, I rarely use a shield to fight. However, this twin-headed black-striped snake is too dangerous, so I'm a bit scared if I don't use a shield. Captain, when the time comes, I'll attack from afar and you'll attack from close. LuoFeng said quietly, if something happens, I'll use my spiritual force on your shield or heavy hammer and you can use it to dodge. Understood. LuoFeng nodded. LuoFeng looked at the other 3 and said, the captain and I will go down, you guys stay here. Alright, Brother Chin, take aim with your sniper rifle, in case someone tries to rob us at the last moment. Don't worry, I'm always aiming below. Jingu smiled. If you want me to shoot, just let me know. Yes. Through the communicator watch, the team members could contact each other at any time. Captain, let's go down. LuoFeng and LuoFeng both swiftly went downstairs. Jingu and the others can't do anything against a monster of this level. LuoFeng and LuoFeng swiftly went downstairs and followed a ruined stone path from memory towards the location of the twin-headed black-striped snake. Boom. Hiss. The shrill hissing of the snake came from afar. LuoFeng and LuoFeng glanced at each other. At this time, the tactical communications watch on their wrists also slightly vibrated. LuoFeng lowered his head to look and a line of words appeared on the tactical communications watch. 3 people suddenly appeared and are currently fighting the twin-headed black-striped snake. LuoFeng also received the news. He said in a low voice, I didn't expect that someone would beat us to it. However, let's go take a look. Let's go. LuoFeng nodded. The 2 of them swiftly approached and quickly arrived at the corner of a residential building. Through the corner, LuoFeng could see the twin-headed black-striped snake and 3 men fighting a few dozen meters away. These 3 men seemed to be from West Asia and South Asia. Their hair was slightly curly and their skin was slightly dark. The leader of these 3 men was a bald man with a sturdy body. He held a dark golden long rod that was around 3 meters long. The long rod in his hand was like a swimming dragon. Every time the triangular head of the twin-headed black-striped snake hissed and charged over, that long rod would quickly smash over. Even if it didn't hit the head, it would still push the twin-headed black-striped snake away. Sometimes, a nod from the long rod would cause the twin-headed black-striped snake to hiss angrily. The other 2 had a square shield in one hand and a gigantic scimitar in the other. The 2 of them stayed close together and attacked together. Their coordination was extremely ingenious. Peng. The rusted fitness and entertainment facilities in the sector were directly smashed apart by the tail of the twin-headed black-striped snake. The bald brute also retreated rapidly. The long rod in his hand turned into a whirlwind that blocked all the scrap metal, and he himself also retreated. Good rod technique. LuoFeng, who was watching from afar, couldn't help but to say quietly, this bald guy should be an advanced warlord-level fighter. The other 2 should be intermediate warlord-level fighters. LuoFeng nodded. That bald brute dared to fight the twin-headed black-striped snake head-on, so it's easy to tell how strong he is. Hiss hiss. The twin-headed black-striped snake seemed to have gone mad. The cold eyes of the 2 gigantic snake heads made people's hearts go cold. It opened its bloody mouth time and time again to bite. Under the twin-headed black-striped snake's attacks, the 3 people retreated rapidly and started talking. After hearing the conversation between the 3, LuoFeng and LuoFeng instantly determined, they're Indians. After the series of battles just now, one of the twin-headed black-striped snake's head was already bleeding. It was hit by the bald brute's rod. However, this injury clearly wasn't fatal. Whoosh. The 3 Indians swiftly rushed towards LuoFeng's direction. You 2, come at me if you can, the bald brute said awkwardly in Chinese. And at this time, the twin-headed black-striped snake was roaring as it rushed over. LuoFeng and LuoFeng only sneered and didn't say anything. They swiftly dodged to the side. They weren't stupid enough to fight the twin-headed black-striped snake head-on. The leader of the 3 Indians, the bald brute, couldn't help but to curse under his breath. The 3-meter-long rod in his hand instantly shot towards the twin-headed black-striped snake. Now's the time. LuoFeng, who was dodging, already had a black throwing knife in his hand. This is a 9 series throwing knife. He swung his hand like lightning. The throwing knife turned into a cold light as it shot towards the twin-headed black-striped snake's left head. As an existence that's about to become a dragon, the twin-headed black-striped snake has high intelligence. When it saw that the unassuming human actually threw a throwing knife, its left head immediately shook. Keep in mind that a snake's head is already extremely fast. The left head of this twin-headed black-striped snake instantly became a blur. You're too smart for your own good. LuoFeng sneered, Change? He intentionally threw the throwing knife with his hand to make the smart twin-headed black striped snake think that he's using a hidden weapon. Normally, after throwing a throwing knife, it can't change direction. Unfortunately, Luo Feng isn't some hidden weapon expert, but he's 10 times, no, 100 times better than a hidden weapon expert. When the throwing knife was about a meter away from the twin-headed black striped snake, it slightly changed direction. And just this slight change in direction caused the throwing knife to directly shoot towards one of the eyes on the left head of the twin-headed black striped snake. Hiss! The twin-headed black striped snake angrily hissed. In that short moment, its left head actually dodged. Keep in mind that Luo Feng's throwing knife is already several times the speed of sound, which is even faster than a sniper rifle bullet. A distance of 1 meter at several times the speed of sound isn't even a thousandth of a second. Because the throwing knife is too fast, even Luo Feng can't accurately change direction at a distance of 1 meter or 1.5 meters. Since the throwing knife is too fast, if he's just a bit slower, the throwing knife could have already traveled 10 meters. Even if his reaction speed is fast, in that short moment, Luo Feng can only change direction once. But in that extremely short moment, not only did the twin-headed black striped snake react, it was even able to make a dodging movement. Of course, because the time was too short, the twin-headed black striped snake was only dodging under extreme circumstances. Piu! The throwing knife stabbed into the twin-headed black striped snake's mouth. After creating an opening, the throwing knife brushed past the scales on the twin-headed black striped snake's neck. Chi-chi. It only left a white mark as the throwing knife directly rebounded into the ground. What a terrifying defense! Luo Feng was shocked. What an amazing dodging ability. Luo Feng was startled. What shocking dodging ability. This twin-headed black striped snake can actually dodge such a short distance change of direction? This is going to be troublesome. Luo Feng was very clear that it would be extremely difficult for him to finish off this twin-headed black striped snake. Hiss! The twin-headed black striped snake furiously turned its head towards Luo Feng. Its left head had a gigantic opening, and dark green blood continuously flowed out. Good! Yelled the bald brute with the long rod. As he retreated, he yelled in awkward Chinese, "Let's team up and split it 50-50?" as he looked towards Luo Feng. Luo Feng and Gao Feng exchanged glances. "Alright," said Luo Feng. "Okay." Gao Feng even intentionally made a hand gesture. The three Indians and Luo Feng's group instantly made a decision to team up. The bald brute's strength was recognized by Luo Feng and the others, and the power of Luo Feng's throwing knife was recognized by the three Indians. Only when you have enough strength can you receive the respect and attention of others. And outside of the Wanku Dream City sector, there was a 9-man fighter squad slowly advancing. In this 9-man squad there were members of the Tiger Fang squad. "Ichim? That's the sound of a snake, and a powerful one at that," said one of the 9 people. One of the 9 people, a gray-haired old man among them, said, "Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and turn on the notifications so you won't miss any of our upcoming great videos."